It's original rock and roll, rock the show and leave it all. I'm on the stage for kids to take lessons, learn and teach their own behaviors. I'll take you on a ride back to where you belong. You got the beat, no beat, you draw, planet Earth, calling home.
There we go. Oh no, whoa, that's me. Hey, there we go. All right. Boom, now you're live. Yeah, there you go.
Barber Night Live, Tuesday night, 6 o'clock, Federico Advanced. I am your man, DC the Barber, along with Mr. Joshua Flowers, Josh XO. Hello, how you guys doing? Hope you had a good holiday. My holiday was pretty decent. My model Thomas today, we're gonna do a quick haircut today. We're gonna do something nice and tight on the sides. Gentleman conservative, kind of swaggish in between. Something tight, but still young and fun and funky. You can have some fun with. Kind of summery, so it could kind of last him a little longer. So we will just jump right into it. I'm gonna start with my Super 120s by Andis. I'm gonna take it down to about my 3 odd position, cutting very close. I'm gonna start here at this tempo. I'm gonna bring this over a little bit for you, Josh.
Oh, yeah, thank you. No, okay,
Gotcha. Starting right here, my temple. Nice and tight. I'm starting this with a 3 odd. If I want it to be a little bit more conservative, I would start with a 1, not taking as much hair off. I'm gonna take this all the way around, like so. Make sure you can see me. If you notice, I'm flicking the clipper up as I go into the longer areas. It's a haircut that's very popular nowadays, and you can go ahead and get these haircuts performed with a nice system in and out the barbershop. You'll go ahead and maximize your hair cutting and your clients' retention and your happiness of your clients. They'll come back and see you more often. And then also tell a friend, my barber doesn't have me in the shop all day cutting my desired style. So we start here, again, keeping it somewhat with my comb overs or anything that I want to keep like a huge distinction of length. I always like to start at the lowest part, the base basically, and I get my base started. So that's why you see me started here. We could do a reverse fade with this, but it becomes a little bit tricky. I'm going to open up my clipper, still remaining with the Super 120 for the moment. Push that hair, you see this long hair that wants to fall from the top. I kind of like that right now, so I'm just gonna move that back out of the way, leave it undisturbed. We'll take my 120, go up a little bit higher, keeping the same angle though. You can, if you're looking to do a really aggressive undercut, you can go, the higher, the better, as long as you get the blend out. Doesn't matter, as long as you get a nice blend, you can have the haircut as high or as low as you like. I thought I'd do an easy show tonight. Thomas is one of my models, the guy that we work, shoot, a lot of different situations together. I've cut his hair numerous of times, numerous occasions. Actually, he was my model that I used to get my job here, Federico's, so he's like my go-to clutch guy when I need to look good. Long trip this weekend, so didn't really get to prep like I like, but this guy is always down to work, and he needed a haircut, so it just worked out good. I'm happy to do it. So my next level was on my 1 steel, and I'll bring that around. Now, when I get to this back area here, you can see I can kind of play a little bit more. I can go up into that. I can use my scooping motion just a little bit more, and I can see in there I can see the levels that I like to build. If you're not really versed with the just freehand, if you're not really confident with that, feel free to take your comb in there and just go straight up like that. All right. So we'll start right here too. We had our first Federico barbering students graduate. Graduate last week, a couple of weeks ago, and also they passed state board today. So yesterday, we want to shout out David Avalos as well as Danny Zura. Congratulate them. So we just continued around the same guideline that we used before with our one. And now we'll turn them as if I were using my mirror. That is no longer there. And I will make sure that my two fade guidelines are accurate. My duster. I'll switch to my BGR Plus. Number 2, the reason I like to do that is because, again, it just gives me that level of, I can see the height and the difference instead of trying to guess through it. If I were to go level for level for level, I would have to stop in between and kind of guess. If I go into this, I can start right here, take my 2, and know exactly what happens when I hit my 2 like this, or like so. I know exactly what I'm going to get, so there is no questioning. And that's just what I want to do. I'm going to go ahead and give it a little bit of Lay Right grooming spray just so I can control that hair over there. Push that a little bit over there. Get this hair to the front right there. Start hearing that hair really cut. What's up, Katie? Oh, thank you. Yeah, I needed that. So now, doing a lot of freehanding. Again, if you're not really comfortable with the freehand motioning, you can just use clip over comb. But what I recommend is I get to the area where you are comfortable, and then just slide your comb in there underneath. Just use it as a guide like that. So same thing like here. Yeah. So if you see that, I just use the comb. It's basically as another guard. Spin them around.
You see, you look so tiny today.
It's that bald head. Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean. Oh yeah, new look. 2 weeks ago, I had a little, like a 13-year-old now.
I don't think I'd ever say this to a brother before, but you kind of need a tan.
I do. I really do.
You don't need the tan.
I do. I do. I really do. I was shaving it just a little while ago. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go sit out in the sun with some olive oliva on my head for the rest of the day. So you can see the difference between where we started over here and what we already created. And that's just between the 1 and the 2. All right, I'm gonna swing them on this side. I'm gonna take that hair out the way there. I'm gonna use some.
Hey, you're getting so good at your camera.
Thank you, Josh. That means a lot, man.
Situational awareness.
Situational. Hey, that's a military term, right?
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna come here. I think I'm gonna use a clip just to get this hair out the way. Get this one out the way right over here. Yeah. Tilt it right there. Yeah, I'll take. Thank you. Same motion. We know this hair on this side tends to push back, so I use my clipper almost at an angle to come in and allow me to continue to have more graduation toward the top where I want it, and to be a little bit tighter at the bottom where I want it by allowing the blade to stay close like such.
So really you're doing a bit of freehanding then, yeah?
Yes, sir. Pretty much all freehanding in this motion. And like I said, if you're not really versed in freehanding, you could just go ahead and calm down, use your comb, get your plate, get your point where you're comfortable with, and just lift up like that. And it gives you the same, protects you from freehanding so you won't get yourself into any problems.
You're not well versed in freehanding, just keep screwing people up until you get good at it.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. That's the truth. You will one day, or you will find another job. Yeah, freehand is crazy. You could, intimidating. More the lay right spray. It allows the hair is just a little bit more pliable. Let's move it where I want to. Smells good too. See, I just kind of, that long hair wants to jump in my way, I'll just pull out of it. The trick is just knowing not what to cut, but also what not to cut too. So the back, see that hair wants to turn that way, we go into it, we fly into it like so. So now that I got my 2 on there and I know what my 2 looks like, I would jump up to maybe my 3.5, which is a lot longer. And I'll come over to, I would start about right here because I like how this is blending in. I would start about right here and I'll start to remove some of this weight from the crown and around this pariah. Soften this up just a little bit, because what I saw was just a little hard, see if I can turn it right there. If I turn this hair right there, you can see where it's a little too square right there. I'm gonna soften that up.
Complex Barber said, just got in. You can repeat the numbers you are using.
Right now we're at a 3.5, okay. Complex, I'll start over. So we have a 3.5, excuse me, 3/0 with our Supras, closed it to not all the way closed, but 1 notch open. 3/0, it's the equivalent of my 3/0 here. Very low, over the ear, but very low. 1 was next. I still use my Supra. I open it up all the way. That is the equivalent to, it didn't bring 1. Equivalent to a 1. Here. Yes, here. And then my 2 blended into here. This is all 2. This is the 2 and blended and left these long areas. So we only use 3 blades so far. 3.5, 1, and a 2. So now I'm using my 3.5 and I'm going into these areas here. I'm gonna soften this up. I'm gonna use a little clipper over comb to soften this up a little bit more. But I want to take my 3.5 and kind of take some of this weight off in here, right up in this crown. Three and a half. You can hear it. It takes a lot of hair. It takes a lot of bulk. That's why I use this clipper. That's why I prefer my detachables for cutting bulk. Cause it's, I mean, honestly, there's really no stopping them. Yeah. It might slow the blade up a little bit, but if I slow up right along with the blade and allow the hair to fall into that blade, that moving blade, oh, it's gonna cut. Always use your comb right after you make that contact with the hair and cut that hair. Use that comb to double check your work. 3.5 right over here. That area, remember that area falls back and wants to lay back like this. So we cut it as such. And sometimes when the hair doesn't want to cooperate with you, what I use like a rocking motion. So what I'm doing is I'm literally taking my hand and I'm doing like that once the hair gets to a certain area, like right here. And I'm not pushing the hair away, I'm just kind of just like molding it to where I want it to go. I'll finish the rest up with clipper over comb. So that is 3.5. I'm gonna go right up in here a little bit, soften this up a little bit right here. So 3.5. So now just when the system starts to make sense. So 3/0, 1, 2, 3.5. So now I go in between here to blend that out. I got a 2 or 3/4. Blend that out. Just keep doing it. Keep on working. And you'll start seeing these lines just disappear. Always project the clipper out. Don't dig into the scalp for comfortability as well as better blending. The blades can get uncomfortable dragging on the scalp if we're not paying attention to them. So I like to make sure that I'm rubbing that at least. Like the heel part of the blade, not the heel, but like the heel. Heel, but the heel.
Watching, and she said, awesome shape, Missy, you got some bad skills. Heart.
Heart.
Who said that?
Nina.
Nina, what's good?
I just love Nina.
Nina's the coolest. Yeah, Nina's the coolest. Passion squared. All right. Yeah, T, you was kind of long today. Don't act like we don't talk when we cut your hair, bro.
All right, I'm a little quiet today. What can I say?
All right, just checking out some stuff here. So now I'm gonna go to my 1 3/4, remove this line here. And then, like I said, a lot of this is gonna be clipper over comb just to get the shape refined. So let me turn them here. Almost. Moving through a little bit more, just a little quickly, because the blend out is basically going to just be there. You're just helping to erase a couple of lines. Switching to a 1 1/2. Stand right here where we are. Blend this line out here. Spin them around. Make sure you spin that chair around. Always working that chair if possible. (1A) between a 1 1/2 and a 1. People tend to ask me what the what the metric lengths of the blades. I really don't know. Tell you the God honest truth.
America?
Yeah, because it's America, and we don't deal with the metric system.
We don't need that. We don't need your kind of medicine down here. We don't take kindly.
What Josh said.
More intelligent.
Yeah, to a more intelligent form of learning and measuring things.
We're American, so we use Old English measuring.
Yeah. 1 + 2 is 4. Hair nerds. Nina's watching.
Hi, Nina. Oh, everyone's just really excited Nina's in the chat.
What's a Nina fan? We just need to have Nina on the show.
Yep.
Oh, Complex Barberman comment. For beginners, to take out the lines, is it easier or recommended to use the corners of the blade?
The corners?
Yes.
Yes, always. Always the corners. You gotta imagine the curvature of the head, you know, it's flat. The blade's always flat. The curvature of the head is never going to let you, if I'm just cutting right here, only thing I'm getting is in that middle area. So if I cut here, I'm getting more control. So that's all, I'm usually always at an angle. So even right now, if you see right now, I'm just using the corners of my blade, and then I'll switch to the other side and do the same thing. Yeah, so very rarely do I just go in flat. And if I do go in flat, I'm elevating mostly. So like right now, where his scalp is a little bit flatter, I don't have a problem going in, but I'm actually elevating too. One A. Huh?
Hi, Faith. Hi, Bobby. You good?
Now I'm going to go back to my Supra, because we all know what I start with, I like to end up with. And I'm going to dampen them just a bit, and I'm going to start using my clipper over comb to start refining some of these heavier areas. You can clipper over comb with a 3/0 or 1. I prefer the 1 for when I'm initially cutting, and I've used the 3/0 for precision and knocking down, not necessarily bulk, but just refining points. When I clipper over comb, I try to make sure I didn't do it right then, but I try to make sure, like everything, I stay in a consistent motion. That way everything flows together. Thomas has some growth pattern changes back here that I'm aware of that you want to be cautious of when you're cutting his hair, or here with growth pattern changes in general. But for this particular style, I'm going to kind of soften this up just a little bit right here, and kind of just disregard the thought, the whole area of his cowlick. We won't do a hard part with him. He does wear them sometimes, but not this time. We won't do one this time. Hard parts meaning, we actually use a trimmer and put the part in, and in fact, sometimes we can use a straight razor just to refine it even more. Always move around your clipper over comb, or anything. You can't cut standing in one place, or you can't cut effectively. You can cut anything standing in one place. But to get an effective haircut, moving around, this allows you to see your work, see the progression of your work. And what I like to do is, if you can, don't ever take your hands away from the client. Use your knee or hip or whatever you're comfortable with to move your chair. That way you can always keep a visual look on your cut, and you also know where you were at all times when it comes time to going back and refining your cut if it needs to be cleaned up. I'm just giving some height up here so I can push that hair away from the sides where I want to start blending. So push that hair all the way away from me over there. And I'll tilt them just a little bit to give me a little more added assistance with that. And I'm aggressively angling my comb this time. A little bit more aggressive than I did on the other side. The other side's a little bit more straight up. This side we're actually giving it a little bit more of a bow. Do some cleaning up here. Clean that taper up just a little bit, make the sides just a little bit harder. I could take my trimmer and blend some of that line out like that without breaking out another clipper. Just soften that up right there. Come over his ear, clean that up just a bit. And when I do this, I don't put the clipper blade flat on. I'm actually at an angle to where the blade, the hair is falling into the blade like so. How you doing, Thomas?
I'm good. I don't know what happened to my air conditioning tonight.
Oh,
Playing.
a little warm.
Pretty mad about it.
Little shiny forehead on DC.
It's like a good old day.
Oh yeah.
Back when we first started.
Oh yeah, hot. It's burning up. Yeah, Thomas done went through the trenches with me.
Shaking fan.
Yeah. Get this over there so you can see that. Yes, sir. Thick and thin.
So here's a complicated question for you, I'm sure.
Yes,
When
sir.
you're working on a fade like this, right, and you're blending, there has to be a balance for looking at the shape head on, right?
Mm-hmm.
As opposed to what's blended, right? So if you go for something totally like square, shape-wise, then it might not be blended, right, on
Right.
the side. So what's more important to you, or how do you balance the two?
The blend is always one of the more important things to me, unless someone says they want a disconnected cut. If you tell me you want a disconnected cut, well, that's different. We'll look at it like that. But for me, the blend, as a barber, the blend is always going to take precedent. Then I go into my face shapes and looking at the styling. Thomas, I'm just lucky with Thomas. He could damn near wear whatever. Right. You know what I mean? I could literally mess his hair up and no one would know it. You know what I mean? Because his hair is he just got that good texture of hair. But yeah, the blend for me comes first, and then I work around everything else, I guess. Just because that's what, in most cases, the client is going to refer to first. I'm like, yo, you kind of got me like,
Hey, I look really square.
a nice little bowl right here you gave me, DC. So yeah. So now I'm gonna just use my thinnest shear just a little bit. Take some of this weight out right here. What's up, Bree?
Hi.
You wanna come say hi?
No. It's good to have them teach everyone how to be a barber.
Come on, Bree, come say hi.
I have nothing about it.
Bree's hair's got me on the
Yeah. So you can see that thinnest shear just takes that line right on out. I'm gonna go right over on the other side. I see one more area, but it's a little bit heavy right here. I'm gonna freehand it. Not necessarily recommended, but if you know what you want to remove, the only reason I'm doing it like this is because I'm using my comb I could go ahead and stop being lazy and just take my clip. Let's do that. How about doing that, Bree? Let's do that.
I'm cool with lazy.
You was cool, yeah, I was too, actually. I was real cool with lazy. I like lazy sometimes, most times, in fact. You see, I'm struggling. Barbers with clips.
Weird.
Weirdo. Forget it. Let's blend this on out a little bit. And then now we're gonna go ahead and just use a little product. Mess him up and times. I know you want a little bit off the top though, huh?
Whatever you want to do.
Okay, let me just take some. I'm gonna just take some of this weight out. It's a little heavy. See, I'll come on this side and do it. Some little light point cutting up in here, because he's got nice density. So I'm gonna come in here. His hair is so dense it don't even matter where I go into it and just go. Yeah, that automatically just made it look. Turn them this way. Yeah, so it went like that. Yep.
Damn fine looking haircut.
Thank you, sir. Gator cuts.
Gator done.
So now we'll just apply a little bit of product on the sides here. Give it a nice little lay, and I'm gonna take the rest and just move it back like so.
That was the fastest haircut in the history of the world. Because I came in 8 minutes. Like, I came in 8 minutes in, and you were already halfway done.
How fast was it? Gator fast.
Gator fast. I've been like lucky, like it's not lucky when you're having to do it though, but to be like working, you know, somewhere, you know how it is. And they bring you the model, they say, yeah, we need the model like now. But they just brought you the model. So that's happened to me a couple times. And so I can cut pretty fast when I want to, I guess. And when I'm comfortable with the person too. So like I said, Thomas, you know, he's like, I could probably cut him half sleep.
North Shore said, really nice cut.
Hey, thank you, North Shore. Thank you for tuning in all the way. Yeah. I kind of like that. I kind of like that little, like the little Depeche Mode. Hey, can we get it? Can we get it? 5 seconds? Can we get my? Okay, all right.
North Shore 45 asks, if the client lets you do what you want, what makes you choose between a tight fade like this and a razor faded one?
Well, because I know I'm not going to see Tom. Well, Thomas doesn't necessarily wear a razor fade. I don't think I've ever gone as high with a razor with him. Have we?
No, we haven't.
We have?
We have not.
We have not, yes. We've never taken a razor. And so Thomas is my somewhat conservative, edgy cowboy.
I like that. So everyone's supposed to be.
Yeah, he is. He is. When I came here to apply for my job, I showed up in Stacey Adams, you know, looking just real brotherish, you know. Let's keep it real. And then I got Thomas walking behind me. He got on.
I
had a couple of them. I looked like Steve Harvey.
You know what the suit needs? More buttons.
More buttons.
More buttons.
But and Thomas comes in. He comes in with his, you know, shit kickers. Oh, excuse my friend. He comes in with his boot kickers and you know, and I remember when the lady, we walked in the cafe, lady, she was like, well, what the heck are they doing here?
They're narcs. They must be narcs.
Gotta be narcs.
They gotta be narcs.
Gotta be narcs. There you go. I just took my razor because I was looking for a reason to use my razor tonight, and I was getting in my Adam Federico mode. I wanted to just use the razor, just kind of like piece up so it'll lay, because it was a little bit heavy and it was causing it to lay down like this. So now it blends a little bit better. And he has a style he can actually style a couple different ways. He can lay it down if he likes. He could go ahead and add some volume to it if he likes. Couple different styles, a couple different things he could play with. So that, I believe, is our cut for the evening, unless there are any questions. Question, please.
Too late.
Please. Please, questions, please. Yeah. We're going home. But we hope you guys enjoyed this cut. As always, we're here Tuesday nights, 6 o'clock to 7 p.m. Thursday nights, Federico Live tonight, next Thursday?
Thursday is, Weapon of Choice.
Weapon of Choice this Thursday with Mr. Josh XO. So tune in for that, 6 o'clock till whenever, because we hang out. I just seen somebody need to clean up on the side. Uh-oh.
Hey.
His name is Thomas.
Oh, her name is Tiffany.
Uh-oh. Ah. Tip. He likes long walks on the park.
Oh, I do.
Hold on, let me get some soft focus on.
Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, fade it out.
Bring that music in.
We'll make it look like a glamour shot.
Oh, yeah.
Vaseline on the lens.
Oh, we're gonna make it a little misty in here. All right.
We're gonna have Jerry go ahead and wrap up.
Talk. He'll do his talk right. Yeah. This is Mr. Jerry Lewis on the hair. Yes.
Oh, look at all the pixie does.
I like the pixie does. That's my LeBron.
Right in here, quiet storm. Ladies.
Mr. Jerry Lewis and your slow jamming tunes.
Teresa Sharp says, looks amazing. Great job as always.
Thank you, Teresa.
Exclamation mark ×3.
Thank you, Teresa. Thank you for joining in. We'll see you next week, hopefully.
Yeah.
That it?
That's it.
All right, cool. Bye, everyone. Be sure to subscribe and stuff. Yeah, later.
Next week. Quick and painless. Quick and fast.
All right.
I like that.